Meri Brown, star of Sister Wives, intended to have a sweet little art session with her friends, but it turned out to be really snarky. She was painting something that appeared a bit too eggplant, coated in the flash of an eye. Yes, you are correct. Even though Meri says she had no idea how that happened, there's no denying that her canvas was serving some extremely offensive vibes. That's not all, though. As they are publicly making some NSFW filthy confessions, Christine, Janelle, and Robyn arrive with the information they know about a eggplant. Is this accurate? What is the point of this? What were they able to uncover? The tea is pretty hot, so continue reading to find out more about this controversy. It's no longer just vegetables when it comes to eggplant. And now for the crucial query. Are Sister Wives aware of the meaning of an eggplant as well? Christine obviously knows enough to blush. Although she is aware that they are sexually explicit, she is unaware of their true meaning. She knew, however, what that may signify. However, Robyn only said, "An eggplant is an eggplant," demonstrating her obvious lack of knowledge about emojis. She even laughed aloud and pondered what it might truly imply. But what about Janelle? Well, her children have warned her. She remembered how her kids pleaded with her not to use these emoticons since they have far more meaning than she had realized. Meri Brown, star of Sister Wives, knows exactly what an eggplant emoji represents. She knows more than just eggplants, though. I mean, they use the peach for, a female's butt. "I think that's what it's for," she said to her audience. Meri decided to join her gall buddies, Jen, Amber, Hillary, and Andrea for some creative fun after realizing she hadn't painted in a long time. A viral video of a woman relating vegetables to extremely particular male anatomy was shown to Meri by Amber before everyone could arrive. As a result, the subject was selected quickly, and the women were prepared to paint eggplants with their paintbrushes. "I don't know how this happened, and I'm feeling kind of embarrassed. But evidently now we're all painting eggplants," Meri said, laughing uncontrollably. As a result, Meri and her friends quickly painted their hearts out and had eggplant images on their phones. The celebrity talked candidly about her dating life with her closest friends in the midst of all of this. Meri discussed her preferences and her sporadic dating experiences. She also recollected her 10-minute date and acknowledged that it was a lot of fun. Conversely, Meri also discussed her preferences for guys. She said that she finds facial hair to be quite sexy, that she would be game if the male was 6 feet tall. That is not a required checklist, though, and she is free to think about other options as well. Do you understand what an eggplant is then? Please share your thoughts in the comments area. Meri Brown, star of Sister Wives, has undoubtedly entered her most audacious, humorous, and unrepentant phase to date. Meri is finally prospering after years of heartache, loneliness, and stress under Kody Brown's domineering rule, and this time, she's attracting attention for a completely different reason. Meri recently shared with her fans the details of her weekend excursion, which swiftly descended into cheeky disaster from innocent fun. A laid-back art night with close friends evolved into a hilarious and slightly inappropriate creative session, complete with artwork with an eggplant theme that made social media blush. Yes, you read correctly. Kody Brown's followers are enamored with her after she genuinely exchanged the stress of multiple marriages for lighthearted independence. Here's the whole tale of Meri's naughty art night, why the internet is referring to it as her most iconic moment yet, and how it represents her post-divorce glow-up. Prior to delving into the eggplants, figuratively speaking of course, it is critical to recognize Meri's progress. On Sister Wives, fans witnessed her deal with heartbreak for more than 10 years. Before everything started to fall apart, she was Kody's first legal wife and the family's emotional pillar. Meri suffered a great deal of heartache as a result of catfishing scandals, Kody's emotional detachment, and her final split from the polygamous patriarch. Fans pleaded with her for years to get out, to put herself before a relationship that didn't work out, and something changed inside her when she did. The weeping woman holding on to a failing marriage was no more. A self-assured, outspoken, and daring businesswoman who owns Lizzie's Heritage Inn, a bed and breakfast, who isn't scared to enjoy life to the fullest, took her place. Fans were astonished by the subject rather than the paint-covered smiles when Meri's most recent art night photographs appeared on Instagram. The beginning of Meri's fun night was quite harmless. The TLC personality spent an evening of wine, laughing, and creation at a local paint and sip event in Utah with a couple of her closest pals. However, this painting party was not like others. Naughty Nights Paint and Pour was the name of the event, which urged attendees to let their wild side out by painting risque fruits and shapes. a lighthearted euphemism that soon became literal as the brushes got to work. Meri and her companions soon found themselves surrounded by suggestive artwork with eggplant-inspired themes. "I didn't expect this kind of fruit when they said we'd be painting fruit," one participant remarked on Instagram Live. Meri leaned into the chaos, never one to back down from a good laugh these days. She allegedly held up her purple-hued work and exclaimed, "This one's got personality," with a cheeky smile. Fans couldn't stop viewing the night's footage. One user stated, "Meri's out here painting art and living her best life." What did she do with the bashful sister wife from 2012? And who is she? Meri's comment area quickly became dominated by the eggplant emoji. For those who don't know, the emoji has come to represent something a bit more mature online, and her admirers couldn't help but make fun of her for it. Meri's reaction? Unadulterated gold. Sometimes art is just art, and sometimes it's whatever your imagination says it is, she wrote in a lighthearted Instagram caption. "In any case, we had a great time." #4fun hashtag don't think it how fans were enraged only by that humorous caption. Once tactfully handling every tearful exchange with Kody, Meri was suddenly making jokes about eggplant art like a carefree college student on a girls' night out. One fan wrote, "This is the Meri we've been waiting for. She is carefree, self-assured, and enjoying life. She is deserving of this. After surviving Kody Brown, painting naughty fruit is the least she deserves," someone other commented. Although there was a lot of innuendo and laughter during the event, there was more going on beneath the humor. For many years, Meri was bound by a strict framework of marriage and faith that governed almost every element of her life, including her attire, her beliefs, her self-expression, and even the amount of joy she was permitted to display. Her brave act of regaining freedom was more than just painting eggplants at an NSFW-themed art night. For women who have fled authoritarian circumstances, art therapists have observed that expressive, playful experiences such as these can be very restorative. It's a means of re-establishing a connection with humor, sensuality, and individuality. Elements that Meri has freely acknowledged she lost during her years in multiple marriages. One Reddit user speculated that she was rediscovering herself. She was prohibited from being brave or stupid for a very long time. She is now grinning and making crude jokes with her friends. That is true growth. And that's exactly why Meri's moment is so much more impactful than it first appears to be. Beneath the jokes and laughs is a lady who is at last able to laugh without worrying about being judged. It wouldn't be Sister Wives, of course, without some conjecture over Kody Brown's possible reaction to all of this. If Kody happened to stumble over Meri's Instagram post, fans have already started picturing his face. "You know, he'd call it inappropriate or unspiritual," jokingly said one fan. Kody is making excuses while Meri is out here creating art. In actuality, Meri's increasing independence frequently ran counter to Kody's conservative ideas. He effectively emotionally cut her off when he famously acknowledged on the show that he no longer felt romantic affection for her. Therefore, it might be the height of poetic justice to watch her flourish, laughing with friends, being feisty, and painting something as daring as an eggplant. In the words of one Twitter user, Kody lost a wife. Meri developed a whole personality. Meri's close-knit group of pals has played a significant role in her post-divorce glow-up. Supporters have observed that she spends more time with her chosen family. Women who support her, accompany her on trips, and inspire her to embrace her independence, than with the Browns. The first people to promote her online were some of those buddies who attended the notorious paint night. Who knew an innocent art night could turn into a masterpiece marathon? Was the caption on a group selfie that one of them shared. "I cherish you, Meri. The life of the party is you. She's hilarious and fearless. We couldn't stop laughing all night," said a buddy. "She had such a vibe these days." The lonesome hotel rooms that viewers once witnessed Meri withdrawing to during the more somber Sister Wives episodes are a far cry from this. She is now surrounded by color, laughter, and people who embrace rather than condemn her eccentricities. Fans started referring to the occasion as Meri's eggplant era when the images circulated on Reddit and TikTok. Almost immediately, memes appeared. One of them featured a glowing Meri with a paintbrush and the words, "When life gives you lemons, paint eggplants." Another admirer used the caption, "Sister Wives, but make it spicy," to modify a picture of Meri's happy expression next to a purple emoji parade. She has become the epitome of post-breakup freedom, and even longtime watchers who previously felt sorry for her are now supporting her. One reader said, "She's proof that you can be 50, divorced, and still have a naughty sense of humor." We all need that kind of energy. Although the eggplant night was a humorous incident, it was a part of a much bigger trend in which Meri redefined herself. She has been growing her bed and breakfast, organizing empowerment-focused women's retreats, and even hinting at the prospect of penning a memoir. In contrast to the timid, hurt woman she used to be, her social media is replete with quotes about self-love, daring attire, and laughing. It's amazing what happens when you stop waiting for someone else's permission to be happy, she wrote in a recent post. That one line sums up her life to this point and explains why her cheeky art night resonated so strongly. Because painting wicked fruit wasn't the only thing involved. Joy, laughing, camaraderie, and letting go of shame were all part of it. She was portrayed on Sister Wives for years as the lonely misfit who was caught between Kody's rejection and the Sister Wives' tacit condemnation. However, Meri is rewriting her tale in 2025. She's witty, she is bold, she is unadulterated. Fans all throughout the world are learning from her that it's never too late to find your flame again. A montage of Meri's previous tears, set to a victorious remix of Miley Cyrus's Flowers, was filmed in one viral TikTok, which ended with Meri laughing and displaying her now iconic eggplant painting. Meri Brown's 30 art night may appear to be nothing more than a fun girls' night full of giggles and suggestive shapes at first glance, according to the caption. However, it symbolizes something much more to those who have followed her path from tragedy to recovery. It represents emancipation, the discovery of a woman's voice after years of suppressing her laughter. It's evidence that happiness can be jovial, healing can be amusing, and self-reflection need not necessarily be somber in order to be empowered. Here's to Meri Brown, the once timid sister wife who now paints her truth, laughs without apology, and reminds every woman watching that it's never too late to get a little naughty and a lot free. Sometimes it comes from picking up a paintbrush, drawing an eggplant, and saying, "Hey, I did that."